Elon Musk announced unprecedented news, and Tesla stock is soaring, and if you like seeing that, click the like button right now. Today though, markets are up overall, which are making the markets feel a bit more at ease, but not enough to justify Tesla stock being up so much. And here Elon has a very strong response to someone on CNN saying that he is an incompetent thief and a Nazi. Elon Musk promises that he has had enough and that lawsuit is inbound. Generally, Tesla investors are certainly supporting this move from Elon, with Dylan from Electrified really hoping that Elon follows through to this, although he has put up with this for years now. Here are some other statements according to Dylan Loomis that were made by the same guy about Elon. Elon Musk is not a leader. Seriously, a guy who has built multiple companies, and to build a company you do need to be a leader, otherwise you will not be able to build a company with thousands and tens of thousands of employees. He doesn't want to pay his fair share in taxes. He literally paid more taxes in one single year than anyone else in the USA's history. And this is absolutely right. This is exactly the type of rhetoric that gets parroted around by the true incompetent hacks and garbage publications and the 5 to 15% of lemmings that watch get riled up because they can't think for themselves and they're miserable with life itching for something to be mad about. We've all had enough. So this is quite unprecedented coming from Elon. I haven't seen Elon actually do a lawsuit in regards to defamation, but he's taking this seriously. In 2022, Elon said that Tesla was building a hardcore litigation department, but I don't really recall any big, huge cases about defamation of Tesla's brand or Elon Musk, so this is quite unprecedented. And if Elon does go through with this, I think this will be a game changer, because now I think that people that would heavily criticize Tesla without substantiated claims, I think they will think twice before doing it. Now, if they have facts, go ahead. But if you're just making stuff up, I think these people will be a lot more careful. We should improve the perception of Elon Musk and Tesla. We also got a lot of Tesla news that we need to go through. Here's one interesting news story. Tesla China has officially announced that the FSD update for Hardware 3 and Hardware 4 vehicles will be available in China. Also, the Pause FSD 1-month trial will be redistributed. Everything is currently pending regulatory approval. So all Tesla vehicles will basically have full self-driving in China. So this will be pretty good. It seems like the approval is almost done based on what Tao Lin is saying. And FSD is certainly coming to Europe as well. It's just a matter of time. For example, if you go to the website of Netherlands, you can see that you can get full self-driving. Oh, and ex-Waymo CEO John Krafcik, in a new interview on Tesla and Cybercam, had this to say: Tesla has aspired to compete with Waymo for nearly 10 years, but they still don't. You mean Waymo doesn't compete with Tesla because you cannot buy a vehicle just as a regular customer and have this self-driving system just work anywhere in the world, right? That's not what he means, but that's what he should mean. However, he continues saying, they're a car company with a driver assist system. They haven't delivered a single fully autonomous revenue-generating ride yet. Something Waymo is already doing 1 million times a month, but without actually making profits, as far as we know. And Brett Vinton from Arkinvest, he has made some calculations showing that Waymo experiences a $1 per mile depreciation. So if you lose $1 for every single mile driven, you cannot charge more or less than $1. You have to charge a significant amount. And if you have to do that, you can't really scale, can you? So Brett Winton's statement is basically that the reason why Waymo is expanding into all these other markets, even though they haven't actually even saturated the existing markets, is because they cannot charge less money in these other markets. In other words, these markets are already saturated. It's just that they charge so much. So if you can't charge less, it's not really a scalable solution, is it? But the way Tesla is going about solving this problem, the moment Tesla's vehicles are safer than human driving, these will be super cheap. Cheaper than anything else on the market. And on top of that, not only does Tesla make its own software, but Tesla makes its own cars. So Tesla's hardware, both the actual FSD computer and the vehicle itself, all of that will be cheaper than anything else. No one will be able to beat Tesla on price. If a company were serious about building a safe and accessible robotaxi business, it would look nothing like what was shown. The cost of a robust sensor set, including LiDAR, is trivial on a per mile basis, even more so for mapping, he wrote, and the safety benefits measured in human harm reduction are real and verifiable. If your system is so good, how come you don't license the system to all other automakers and have it deployed in every single vehicle today. Somehow this guy reminds me of Steve Ballmer, who was the CEO of Microsoft at the time, and he missed the whole phone thing. There's a debate happening here. Why am I avoiding Tesla? Tesla bull thesis was based on two assumptions. Number one, Tesla would be exclusive provider of robotaxi and autonomous robots for at least several years. You see that this is not going to happen. The structure in both industries are evolving similar to computers, a dominant operating system provider with several OEMs. It's clear that NVIDIA intends to be that operating system provider in both industries, and OEMs are ready to build on its infrastructure. GM is already collaborating with NVIDIA on autonomy, and there are formidable competitors in humanoid robots like Figure AI and Boston Dynamics. Though autonomy and humanoid robots are going to be giant markets, it's very unlikely that Tesla will collect monopoly rents from them. Well, first of all, when it comes to robots specifically, Elon never claimed that Tesla would have the whole market to itself. Elon is projecting that it would be basically just a small portion of the whole market, and with that still, Tesla would be huge, probably the most valuable company in the world, Elon believes. Now, counter arguments to his earlier statements are, show me the working NVIDIA system driving pin-to-pin safely anywhere in the United States. Tesla has that solution today. You can get into a Tesla, put it anywhere in the United States, turn on FSD, and you can experience it for yourself. NVIDIA has a platform and is a provider of compute, but they do not provide a working solution yet. And besides data GM has collected, GM is starting over from scratch, so they are so behind Tesla. And even if somehow miraculously GM solves full cell driving with NVIDIA, they still have to license it from NVIDIA. So their robotaxis would be much more expensive, or significantly expensive, or more expensive just enough for people to go with Tesla, because Tesla makes everything from scratch themselves, making it much cheaper, or at least significantly cheaper enough that people would want to choose Tesla. In the meantime, ARK Invest in their latest report estimates that Tesla's FSD is going to surpass human driving in terms of accident rates in the second half of this year, surpassing Waymo. This is also from ARK Invest. After more than a decade, most automakers have dropped out of the autonomy race. Tesla and Waymo remain. If you're wondering why GM is here, despite them partnering with NVIDIA now, it's because GM had a thing called Cruise, which they recently shut down. And they poured billions of dollars into that. Shutting it down definitely wasn't easy. Now, in the US, you can't really go and buy a vehicle with LiDAR that you can take anywhere in the US and turn on its full cell driving system. But in China, there are vehicles with LiDAR. And this Chinese driver owns both a Tesla vehicle with FSD and Huawei's Aito M9 with ADS, and it has LiDAR. But he actually prefers FSD over this other vehicle for his daily driving. FSD can be activated anywhere he wants, but this Huawei system can only be activated in pre-mapped areas, although it's not high definition mapping. But it's still rule-based, and FSD is just better. He likes it more. So this whole thing cannot be turned on unless there are maps. You don't need HD maps, but with FSD, even if you don't have the road mapped, you can still turn on FSD and it will drive. And we are definitely seeing more videos with FSD V13 demonstrating emerging AGI. It's not just merely emulating. It's seemingly showing real-world understanding, or it's so good at emulating that it is coming across as it's actually understanding the real world in some cases. For example, here, the car stops, it waits for these cars to go, and it's not going yet because it sees there's another car, and there's obviously construction all over here, and it's still waiting because it should be waiting. And after this car, is it going? No, it's not going because obviously there's another car coming, and now is it gonna go? It's going slowly, but then it sees other cars and it stops. It doesn't try to go. It waits patiently as it should, and only when it's safe to go, it actually goes. And now it's going, and it's taking initiative, and there are no road markings. You just have to sort of know. And it drives through this whole road successfully. And as you saw here, there are some tricky situations, and yet it's doing well. Wow, that's very tight. Gary Black here is saying that based on his math today, Tesla's robotaxi technology is valued basically at exactly zero because using Tesla EV energy and services profits alone, one can justify $250 per share in Tesla's valuation today, which is based on $530 per share in 2030. So he did a poll. Why does the market put no value in robotaxi? Two most popular responses: Tesla FSD not 99.99% there yet, and mainstream media hates Elon. I think this is a bit like asking in 2019, why is Tesla trading so low? It's because most people haven't understood the opportunity properly yet. Tesla has, in the meantime, increased inventory discounts slightly in the US for new legacy Model Ys to as much as $8,820 off, including $500 referral code discounts, but inventory is selling out and with some areas showing no legacy Model Ys available anymore. So if you do want a new vehicle and you don't mind the old Model Y, you can save a lot of money. However, in these states, the old Model Y is completely sold out already. I think this post makes sense. Investing is mental, but I bet on innovation. It is what keeps companies relevant, tends to work out over time. And with Tesla, Elon also mentioned during the all-hands meeting that Tesla has all the components to make airplanes, and the market, of course, with that is huge. So it's somehow, miraculously, Tesla's plans, with everything that it has going on for it, is things just start going badly for it, they can pivot to airplanes as well. Because Tesla is really innovative. It's in its DNA. Well, this is an interesting post. Tesla service center is struggling to keep up with surging demand. Supposedly, according to a Tesla employee on the ground, demand is so high they're barely keeping up. Tesla vehicles are flying off the shelves faster than ever, with new buyers flooding in and pushing service teams to the limit. We are, however, seeing estimates go down by analysts. For example, Morgan Stanley lowered their delivery estimates significantly for this year, and Troy expects deliveries to drop by more than 5% this year. And Troy's personal estimate for this year is 1.68 million deliveries. The analyst consensus right now sits at 1.9 million, and Tesla's target is 1.79 million. However, if we listen to Elon directly, he estimated 20 to 30% growth in vehicle sales in 2025. This was on the Q3 2024 call. And in the Tesla shareholder letter, Tesla did write, we expect the vehicle business to return to growth in 2025. Now, Gary disagrees with Troy a little bit here. I welcome Troy's more pessimistic view about Tesla's deliveries. I'm no wild-eyed optimist, but I believe Tesla can grow its deliveries by 0 to 5% in 2025 once we get past a likely weak Q1 as refreshed Model Y deliveries begin and a new Tesla form factor price below $30,000 after the $7,500 credit extends Tesla's TAM to the compact market, which we estimate comprises 15% of global industry sales. Oh, by the way, did you know Gary Black owned a Tesla Model Y Performance for 3 years? However, based on what we have heard and seen from Tesla and the rumors that leaked, I'm not really expecting a compact exactly this year, but based on the rumors, I expect it to happen next year. There's some good news. Tesla's Giga Berlin factory has increased its localization of suppliers with a recent switch to the new Model Y, with 92% of components now coming from someplace in Europe, which makes the Tesla team in Europe even more resilient to disturbances in the world trade. So, for example, if there are tariffs, Tesla will be less affected than anyone else. Oh, by the way, there are some serious haters that are targeting Tesla stock specifically and Elon Musk, and they are getting together to short Tesla stock, and we know how that ends. Interestingly, how to buy Tesla stock and how to short Tesla stock are both on an upward trend. Oh boy. Retail traders, though, have bought a net of $8 billion in Tesla stock in 2 weeks. There has never been a 2-week inflow even half as large. So us retail Tesla stock investors are calling this a Tesla stock bottom. And by the way, I have seen more targeted coordination of haters coming together trying to short Tesla stock, and they also have a date which we are targeting where they are going to short the most. But this is probably why Tesla short interest is up 15% in the last 60 days, at least one of the reasons, certainly. And then I found this: every time I short Tesla, I end up regretting it. Short term news messes with you, and this is mostly mental. In the meantime, search queries containing the word Tesla are at an all-time high, and it seems to be sustaining this high too. Oh look, we have something that sounds like an apology. Tim Walz, who ran for vice president, says he was joking when he mocked Tesla's failing stock. And we know he didn't actually joke, but he's trying to save his butt right now. I don't think he was joking, he was being serious. But he says, I have to be careful about being a smartass. I was making a joke. These people have no sense of humor. They are the most literal people. I said something I probably shouldn't have about a company. Does this look like a joke to you? And by the way, if you watch my videos from earlier, I was laughing at him, but not because he made a joke, just because he was funny unintentionally. But with Tesla stock being up so much today, we definitely have to shout out the funny Tim Walz. There's a story from CNBC. Tesla owners are trading in their EVs at record levels. But what they don't tell you is that Tesla has the highest brand loyalty among all brands, meaning when someone trades in a Tesla, it means they are getting another Tesla. They are upgrading their old Tesla. And then the flip side is that record numbers of used Teslas would be bought, bringing more people into the Tesla family who maybe don't want to buy a new car or cannot afford a new car yet. But then later, because they will like Tesla so much, they will stick with Tesla and maybe buy a new Tesla eventually. And here's Dan Neal from the Wall Street Journal saying, in early January, I bought a lightly used 2022 Model 3. For the money, nothing comes close. And what about the greater good of buying a modest zero-emission vehicle? The Model 3 is still the right thing to do no matter how many stiff-arm salutes Musk throws around. If I had January to do over again, I would still buy the Model 3. Regardless of politics, everyone should take the time to read Tesla's master plan to eliminate fossil fuels. After years of driving other people's ridiculous phallic symbols, I've stopped caring what other drivers think. And if today you told me, Matt, you have to buy a new car, but you cannot buy a Tesla, would I buy electric today? You know what? I think probably no. I don't think I would buy an electric vehicle because other electric vehicles are just not as good as Teslas. Also, charging is more of an issue with them. So with a certain political party being so upset with Elon, but at the same time they're pro-environment and they say we need to transition to electric vehicles, well, when you attack Tesla, you're getting other people that would otherwise would have bought a Tesla now buy a gasoline-powered vehicle. And check this out, my dad, who has owned his Tesla for less than a week, is already ruthlessly trash-talking me. Okay, at this point, I have to ask you, why do you own any other car other than a Tesla? And why don't you have full self-driving on all cars and use it all the time? It really is that amazing. And I assume his son here replies with, I told you. What did I say? You're right. So sell that Kia right now and buy a real car. Oh, and check this out. So this is not Tesla saying this. This is American University's Kogod School of Business confirming with their own study that Tesla indeed makes the #1 most American car. And look, all of these cars at the top are Teslas only. There is a Ford Mustang, but it's #4. And literally every single Tesla is at the top. There's no other vehicle that is more American made than any Tesla made in the United States of America. Isn't a certain party supposed to be pro-workers and helping people find jobs? If you're buying anything else other than Tesla, assuming that a Tesla vehicle fits your needs, and if you're an American, you're supporting overseas jobs. And I don't think there's anything really wrong with that. This is a free market, a free society. You do anything you like. But if you are going to virtue signal, yeah, buying anything else other than Tesla doesn't really make much sense. Oh, and look at this. This is from CNN. The people who want to send a message through criminal acts designed to attack along political lines, they've got to be answered firmly. Treating them as everyday criminals misses the danger that such people represent to a free society and democracy. Jeremy Judkins is known for, let's call them pranks. So don't take this too seriously, but this is pretty funny. This Tesla showroom in Florida is not playing around. We can fight at this location, so think before you speak. Isn't this a little bit ironic and funny? A Tesla takedown organizer in New York drove his own Tesla to a Tesla takedown protest, which makes sense if he drove on FSD, because why would you want to drive manually? Oh wow, Democrats are now attacking working class rideshare drivers for driving cars that don't pollute. So people get an Uber driver and then they give the Uber driver a 1-star rating. By the way, if you get low ratings, eventually you get booted off Uber. So if this starts becoming a big thing, some of these Uber drivers may no longer have a job. Wow, did this really happen? They were talking about people vandalizing Teslas on The Daily Show and the audience clapped. Wow, this did actually happen. They did cheer. Wow. Oh, look, there is a bit of pushback. This is from a San Francisco Chronicle, an opinion piece. I drive a Tesla. I bought one because climate change is a threat and that has to be addressed. I was an environmentalist hero. Now I am branded a Nazi. What good would it do to sell my Tesla at a loss and have someone else drive it? Or should we all just dump our Teslas and let them rust? I don't see how that would make anything better or impact Elon Musk. It would be a performative act and cancel culture and virtue signaling at their worst. And look at what Omar said yesterday, which actually turned out to be true, his prediction at the bottom here of this post. Guys, we are witnessing attacks on Tesla at a scale never before seen. This means reality is being distorted in ways that can benefit critically thinking investors. Nobody wants to say anything good about Tesla. Even if there is a genuine positive element, it will be ignored or downplayed. This is because anyone who says something good about Tesla is harassed and accused of wanting to suck up to Elon. Most journalists are far too embarrassed to say anything good about the company. They will be shunned by their friends. Number 2, negativity will be amplified to the max, even if it's complete BS. For example, Mark Rober's video. And number 3, short sellers are manipulating angry liberals to join them in shorting Tesla. They know this will push the share price down, causing fear among investors, leading to more selling and shorting. However, this means that any policy event can lead to a chain reaction where the price rising leads to short covering in addition to long buying, which drives up the price further, which leads to more short covering and long buying. Remember, Tesla is the options market, and we have seen this play out multiple times before. The stock is being priced for a collapse in the business. When expectations are that low, you can report a pretty poopy, smelly quarter and still beat the market's expectations. How short people's memories are. Just a few months ago, people were clamoring to buy Tesla at $480. Now it's trading at half that. But there's no way there will ever be a new all-time high, right? Even the FSD rapidly approaching unsupervised, not financial advice, but there is a potentially huge opportunity here. He posted this yesterday. And today the stock is up big time. So that turned out pretty well. On the mainstream media, you will only see negative headlines about Elon, but actually there are people supporting and coming out in favor of Elon. The posters like, "We love Elon." By the way, did you know that the new Model Y, you couldn't really call that a facelift, largely because 70% of all parts are new. Here's some good news for Tesla. Tesla has secured a new $132 million Megapack contract in Australia. Oh, and X money is coming soon. Remember, Elon, after all, sold PayPal, so he's introducing a money element into X. These are going to be the requirements to use money on X. For now, it's just going to be for people living in the US. And Piper Sandler analyst Alex Potter has reiterated an overweight rating and a $450 price target for the next 12 months, adding that Tesla's brand damage may be exaggerated. He says it's incorrect when investors and/or journalists point to politics as a primary driver of Tesla's double-digit year-over-year delivery declines in Q1. Instead, Alex cited supply issues rather than demand weakness, were a key factor. In addition, Alex believes multi-week shutdowns impacted all 4 of Tesla's Model Y factories, limiting the company's ability to fulfill orders, even if demand had been significantly stronger. He sees multiple catalysts, including new product unveilings in the coming months, and the highly anticipated robotaxi launch in June. The firm feels these developments could help offset concerns over recent delivery trends. I believe that Tesla stock is going to $1,000 per share, but there's one investment that I made that actually outperformed my Tesla stock, and that is investing in myself. And my younger brothers who are teenagers, they look at the numbers that I'm doing and they have been asking me, how am I doing this? And they want to know everything I know about money. So I'm doing a 2-day event where I will be teaching them everything I know about money, and you are, of course, welcome to join as well. There's a link down below if you'd like to come and join. My name is Matt Postius. Make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't yet, and I will see you probably on Wednesday.